Okay, team. Good morning. I don't know what happened. I scheduled the stream last night, and when I started up the stream this morning, it was unlisted. Oh man, that mic sounds terrible. Hold on. Let me listen to this again. That sounds horrible. Hold on. Is this better when I speak into the mic? Damn, dude. This mic sucks. Test 1, 2, 3. I mean, I can hear it, but man, this mic sucks. All right, we're gonna have to switch. You know, I also have the option of my AirPod mic. So this right here is my AirPod mic. Let me know if this works. I'm gonna have to listen to this too. Nah, that doesn't really work either. All right, well, we're gonna have a computer mic. This one should be. Like, this one should be way better. But there's like a noise in the background. All right, there we go. All right, NASDAQ, look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is right around all-time highs. I'm sorry, you can hear the... There we go. That should be good enough. I could always update it and fix it, but that should be pretty good. Let me get some music playing here. Music should make this better. Music should make this better. All right, we're good. We're in here. Yeah, apparently YouTube did some type of update last night, and that's what happened here. Is there's some type of update. Hey, what's up, Pascal, John, Demetrius, K, Ray, Mai, Rolly, K. What's up, chat? Good morning. All right, so look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is sitting at 160.50. All right, so a recent 50% tariff on copper, which is effective August 1st, was announced recently, pushing copper prices and copper-related stocks higher. Threats of 200% tariff on pharmaceuticals and new duties on semis loom, targeting trading partners, including the European Union. And the administration delayed the July 9th tariff. It would have been today, but of course, the admin delayed the July 9th tariff, buying time for trade negotiations. S&P 500, NASDAQ are slightly up today, I think, relative to where they were yesterday. I'm going to get rid of these levels. 9 still looks to be respected, but I'm going to move this back so we can take a deeper look here. Yeah, so here's July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 7th, 8th, 9th. We're up slightly on the day. We closed right around 874 on the NASDAQ, we're at 935. Part of this is probably due to NVIDIA's rise. Look at NVIDIA rising up. So NVIDIA all-time highs are at like 161 or so. We're at 160.50. So NVIDIA might really break all-time highs. And I think if NVIDIA does, that's probably going to drag the NASDAQ up with it, right? And so I think that's the story of the day, where NVIDIA is testing all-time highs and it might push the NASDAQ higher, is what I'm looking at right now. Let me know if that's what you guys see too. That's a lot better, but voice is really low. Are we good now? Here, hold on. Yeah, I mean, as soon as this stream ends, what do you guys think? I mean, this mic's not terrible. I just kind of have to hold it. Test, test. I think this one's just a little bit low. Yeah, but this one's not bad. I'm just going to keep using this one. The other one, the computer noise is too high. Like, the computer noise is too high on the other one. So we're just going to have to keep this one. I can also turn this one up if it's better, but after today's stream, I'm just going to go buy a better mic, to be honest, because this is taking too long. Yeah, I know the old one's better, but the computer noise is just too much, I think. So this one's just going to have to work. All right, but look at the NASDAQ push up. NASDAQ at 940s here. 940s. Do me a favor, hit the like button as you join the stream. Hit the subscribe button as well. Yeah, DJ, I just turned off the computer, you know. Or I turned off the computer noise. It's all good, bro. You'll be all right. This will work. All right, guys, we're at 942s right now, 943s on the NQ. Also, today we have the FOMC minutes report. You know, I'm going to buy this dip. It's a challenge account, so if we fail, you know, it's not really the end of the world. We're going to start taking some swings in these. I've been sitting in these. And then today we're going to cover the FOMC minutes report. I think NVIDIA is going to keep pushing towards all-time highs. I think NVIDIA is getting very close to it. And I think the closer we get to all-time highs on NVIDIA, the more likely it is that we actually break those levels, if that makes sense, right? So that's what I'm looking at here. We have a support level at like 938 that we can look at. Uptrend for the next couple of months. Yeah. Yeah, you can see we're slightly green on this position now. I do want to see if it moves up to test this high up here. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. We can add to it here too.
Now we just took a piece off. I want to give the rest time to run, but so yeah, copper and mining stocks are some sectors to watch right now. Copper and miner, renewable energy and power. Pharmaceuticals, Verona Pharma is up 20%, 10 billion Merck deal. NVIDIA AMD continuing post-record high momentum supported by optimism and AI. Tesla rally is here, so you can kind of see Tesla is at 299. I don't know if Tesla's rallying. Tesla's been rallying down. It's under 300 still, but it's back up a little bit. It's at 299s. We'll see if it holds. United Health is down a couple percent due to federal Medicare billing probe. Yeah, I mean, please stop telling people what to do. Palantir might gap down. I don't know. But telling everybody to sell doesn't make much sense either. Nobody knows what's going to happen to Palantir. United Health is down after the Medicare thing. Palantir at 140s. So the NASDAQ is still ripping up here. Look at this. There we go. We're nicely green on this position. We got 2 left. I still think it's going to go higher. I'll probably leave this too. I'm looking at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is what's running. And NVIDIA is at 160.67. 160.67 for NVIDIA. If NVIDIA continues to run to test all-time highs, I think the NASDAQ will as well. We're going to start adding on the pullback too now. There we go. I will keep adding to this on a pullback, especially down to that 37 level. Yeah, I mean, we don't know what Palantir is going to do. It's just pressuring everybody in the stream to make one specific action. I don't know if that's the right move. Did you guys end red or green yesterday? I know I closed down a little bit early, but today's going to be slightly different. But did you guys end red or green? Let me know in chat right now. I'm also going to do a poll real quick. Hold on. Okay, so we did a poll asking who will be in control today, Bulls, Bears, or will we go sideways? That's the question for the poll today. Answer the question, vote on the poll. Let me know how you feel. I see Ryan say red. HG Copper been trading wild since news yesterday. Yeah, small green. Brian says green. Green because of SoFi and ETH. Green on 2 evals. Nice. Good job, guys. Mostly green. If you're red, it's okay. It happens. Look, I'm taking some risks. I'm buying these dips. See if we get a bounce at 37 like I want. I can still cut it pretty quickly, and we're already up like 1,000 in this one, so. There we go. We're slightly green. Let's see if we can pop higher. Alright, let's add back. NVIDIA is getting close. It's at 160.53. This is an eval account, so it doesn't matter too much either way. This is a combine account with Top Step, so I could swing on this one, but my logic is I'm gonna buy this up and just give it time. I think it makes more logical sense for this to retrace back up. The only way this might not happen is if NVIDIA falls, which of course I don't really want, but I'm also up 1,000 on this account, so I've got a really big cushion anyway, so we'll be all right. But it's not looking good, I'll put it that way. Also, Delta Airlines earnings is tomorrow. Do you also trade VIX futures? I don't know if I trade VIX. I trade futures. I just don't usually trade the VIX. NVIDIA got up to almost 170, 169, so it's very close. There's Palin's here. Proc at 630s right now. Look at that move here. What a crazy move. It was at 54 cents the other day. It's now at 630s. Crazy. Music sounds a lot louder than I am. Yeah, I mean, I can move this mic up. I can also turn my volume up a little bit. Let me know if that's better. I don't know how much it goes up, but that should maybe help it. I don't know. Let me know if that works. Let me know if that's better. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just go get a new mic here. Everybody's telling me how bad it sounds. I'm trying my best, guys. I'm trying my best. Again, I can always disconnect the mic, or I could use my computer mic, but I don't think it's much better. Hold on. Okay, so are we good here? Is this better? Let me know. It doesn't sound that bad. I just listened to it. So we good here? Is this better? Let me know. It doesn't sound that bad. I just listened to it. So we good here? Yeah, I mean, there's a little echo, but it's not that bad. Anybody trying to make it sound like it's horrible, you know, you'll be okay. I am gonna hold this thing the whole time. Listen, man, that's what we do here. All right, and again, right after the stream ends, I'm gonna go grab a microphone. So I'll be home next week. I'm trying my best. Yeah, there's an echo whenever. The only time you guys hear an echo is when I'm listening to how my mic sounds. Like if I'm listening to my mic and how it sounds, you'll hear an echo, but outside of that, you won't. All right, so we're basically flat on this position now. There we go, nicely green. We're gonna start unloading here. Our patience helped us. Bro, how did all that profit taking not... I'm trying to limit out now. Now we're basically flat. Oh well, could have been worse. I still want to give NVIDIA time. NVIDIA's up to 160s, 60s. So I do want to give NVIDIA some time. And so I can add back to this too, which is I think what I'm going to do. All right. Yeah, I mean, we should be okay. Yes, sir. Look at this. Nice. So we're up hundreds and hundreds on this account now. Again, same sentiment. In the big pullbacks, we just kind of buy the dip and look for NVIDIA to bring the market higher. NVIDIA is getting very close to all-time highs, and when anything is this close, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. The biggest statistical momentum edge you're going to find is when markets or something is close to a huge milestone level, being all-time highs or milestone or one of the biggest milestone levels. And so if you can find anything that gets that close to it, you got some really easy momentum to read. I'm gonna start unloading here though, and maybe we'll keep playing a version of this. We're up hundreds on the day now, but yeah, so let's take a look at gold this morning. PORK, P-O-R-K is the penny stock that's really moving. Here's gold. Gold is all the way at 32.93s, 32.94s here. So gold still pulling back here on market strength. Bitcoin, if we take a look at it, at 109, almost at all-time highs. So Bitcoin starting to make another leg up, but the last few days it's been kind of stagnant. Yeah, I mean, I'm in Michigan right now. Again, I'll be back home next week. I'll get my normal mic, my normal computer set up. I'm doing my best. Yesterday, the market was pretty boring anyway. I mean, if we take a look at the NQ yesterday, it doesn't look like I missed much, in all honesty. Like, here was yesterday, and the market mostly just chopped all yesterday. Didn't really do anything. If we take a look at rate odds, today we got the Fed watch tool. Or I'm sorry, today we got the Fed minutes report, which we will be streaming. And so we do have the Fed meeting later this month as well. But as of now, we got 4.7% likelihood of a rate cut this month. It's 95+% likelihood of a pause this month in July. So basically, we're not cutting rates this month, almost certainly. The economic data doesn't justify it. Here's the NASDAQ still push higher. And again, this is a very easy movement pattern. Why did we know the NASDAQ would keep pushing higher? And it's because NVIDIA, here's NVIDIA's all-time high. And NVIDIA, its all-time high is significant. Traders definitely pay attention to it. This is NVIDIA's all-time high right here. If I extend this to the left, I can even make it like big and green or something. Let me see. This is NVIDIA's all-time high right here. So as we get closer and closer to this, especially on NVIDIA, more and more traders get interested in it, you know. And so with that said, I've made videos and everything about this exact movement pattern. But one of my favorite things to do is look for something to get within a range of all-time highs and then attack the momentum to move up and test it. Once we actually break the all-time high, I'm not as interested in it because sometimes we tap or break all-time highs or big milestone levels and then we just dump down really, really fast. Sell-offs happen. People start taking profit because that's their profit target. And so, yeah. That's what we're looking at now. But rate odds, still less than 5% of a likelihood of a pause. If we take a look at 10-year treasuries, are they at 4.4%? No. Are they really? Tesla's still trying to hold over threes. 299s right now. Yeah, yields are over 4.4% right now. They're at 4.43%. They're elevated from yesterday. Yesterday they went up a lot. They went up from like 4.38 all the way to 4.43. And then today they slumped a little bit, but ever since about 3 a.m. this morning, yields have been pushing up higher, which means a higher interest rate sentiment is what this shows. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to go home. I've been traveling so much this summer, and traveling's fun, but I'm ready to go home. I want to lay in my bed, you know. NVIDIA at 160.70s here. All right, here goes the NASDAQ trying to get over this 950 level that we drew on our chart again this morning. We deleted a lot of our support and resistance levels on the NQ, but we are still watching 950, 900, 950, 23 even. Big level here. This level right here. 23,000 even right here. It's a pretty big level. Yeah, I think NVIDIA got up to 74. You know, 74. This is only about 24 cents away. This is only about 24 cents away from all-time highs for NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is very close to 74. You can see this 950 level that we have on our chart. Look at where we reject here. So pretty predictable, I think, in that regard and context as well, though. Still watching Tesla. Gold's faded a little bit. In terms of breaking news, in foreign news, the Israeli foreign minister says if a temporary ceasefire is achieved, they will negotiate on a permanent ceasefire. Where's oil this morning? I haven't looked at it. Let me see. All right, 8 a.m. in 6 minutes, chat. Hope we get a clean uptrend until Friday, maybe. John, you sound like a sports announcer. I gotta tell you, Brian, that was one of the best plays I've ever seen on NVIDIA today. Almost up to the all-time highs. Let's see if we get the job done, you know. Yeah, oil sitting under 69s right now. Still low. But if you take a look at the movement we've seen, oil took a big hit down to $64 a barrel late June. In July, it's mostly been heading up, though. It opened up July at about 65 a barrel. It's now at almost 70. Yeah, we'll see if NVIDIA can get the touchdown here. You know. We're doing our best. Let me see. Hold on. I mean, the mic's not good, but it's not bad. Like, it's my biggest thing. The other mic, my computer mic's better, but it's too sensitive, and I can't really turn the gain down. Like, I tried the suppressor on it. It just, you know, it just doesn't quite work well enough. There's too much gain on my computer mic, and so this one's going to have to work. I kind of sound like Batman here, so I think I'll stick with this one. And again, by the time we do the Fed minutes report, we'll have a new mic. Don't worry. Looking at our poll options here, 56% of people, according to our poll, are bullish today. 20% are bearish and 24% are sideways. Hey, what's up, Dental Zone? Yeah. Short gold? Yeah, I mean, if you think the NASDAQ and the S&P are going to continue to break all-time highs, shorting gold does make sense in that regard. Again, I'm not an investment professional, not liable if you lose money. You always got to make your own assessment, trade smart. I can't guarantee anything here. Not an investment professional. But I think, you know, gold makes sense. If you think market's going to keep breaking highs, gold makes sense. I don't know how long it took me to reach my first ever funded. It probably took me at least a couple tries just to get used to it, though. More tariff letters getting sent out today, so waiting for market to drop. Then I buy in. Hey, that's not a... I mean, good luck, bro. Do you think market will drop today? I don't know. I'm probably going to buy this dip right now. Small, slow, we're up hundreds, so we got a cushion here. NVIDIA is getting too close to these all-time highs for my taste here, unless it's going to be more dramatic and break it at the opening bell. Yeah, look, here's a little pop. Let's see if we hold. I mean, the 200 exponential's down here at 922, 924 as well. So it could retrace back to that as well. That's very possible too. But just small. I'm going to jump in small here. See if we rip back up, start moving up. I think NVIDIA really wants it. I mean, NVIDIA is like 25 cents away from all-time highs or something very close to that. And so I think it makes sense to watch NVIDIA right now. You know, you can also see like Apple here at 210s. Apple liquidity is pretty low, but well, maybe I'm wrong here though. This thing could very easily just turn the other way. I'm gonna buy this pullback here, see if it holds, but could be worse. Yeah, I'm gonna unload half of this position. I'm down 50 bucks here, so I mean, I'm still up hundreds on the day. I just don't trust it as much now. I could always jump back in and attack this again. I'm gonna just cut it right there. All right, so we did have Mexican inflation data show up. All right, NTT, along with 3 other borrowers, are expected to raise fresh cash in the U.S. investment grade primary market today on Wednesday, according to Bloomberg, citing an informal survey of debt underwriters here. Again, we don't really have any economic reports outside of the Fed minutes. We got the 10-year note auction at 1 o'clock this morning, or 1 o'clock this evening, or this afternoon. Wholesale inventories at 10. We had Mexico CPI show up stronger than expected. Yeah, so Mexican core inflation showed up higher. 4.24 versus 4.22 expected month over month. CPI month over month 0.28 versus 0.27. CPI year over year 4.32 versus 4.31. Looks only slightly higher than the expected numbers though. What were they last time? Let me see. Hold on. So they were actually lower. Month over month was higher than last time. Core inflation month over month was higher than last time. Regular inflation month over month was flat. Year over year was lower. And core CPI month over month for June was higher. So, for Mexico, that is, specifically Mexico. We also had NBA 30-year mortgage rate show up this morning, and it showed up at 6.77%. So it was a little bit lower than expected here at 6.77 versus 6.79. John, you look hairier. Well, I need a haircut right now, is what it is. Like, I need a haircut right now. Like, my hair is way too long. Carol said she likes it this way, but I don't like it this way. It's way too long. Ugh. I also need to shave my beard. I can't really shave my beard where I'm at here, so. Yeah, so the president's going to release 7 letters minimum this morning and 7 more in the afternoon. All right, so NVIDIA's on this little dip. We're at 160.57s right now, 160.57s. Remember, we got the FOMC minutes report today. Massive report. I don't know how much it's going to move markets, but we're going to stream and cover it as we always do today. Just stick around. And again, we did a poll. We asked people who will be a control. Bulls are 55%. Let me mute this tab. So Merck is diving into COPD treatments with $10 billion purchase of Verona Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, and my mom has COPD, I think. I think what she has is COPD. She coughs all the time. Shout out to my mom. Hopefully they do fix it, but, you know. All right, we're at 937s. My stepfather had it too. He passed away last year. Or maybe it was this year. Rest in peace. But yeah, Microsoft, a lot of people talking about it. Gapping up big today. Over 500s too, which is like a big thing for Microsoft. The reason Microsoft's up, there's a couple reasons. It was upgraded by Oppenheimer. They raised their rating from perform to outperform $600 price target. They cited accelerating AI revenue and sustained Azure growth, suggesting the market still underestimates Microsoft's AI trajectory. Wait, today wasn't bank earnings, was it? Hold on. I know bank earnings are coming out. I don't think it's today. I think it's actually next Tuesday for bank earnings is what we see. Delta, Levi, yeah, it's not this week. Bank earnings are next week. But yeah, Microsoft up pretty big. NASDAQ op-ed reiterated the bull case for Microsoft, highlighting AI-driven investments. Microsoft 365 Copilot, a strategy to double from 500 through Azure and AI expansion. And then multiple analyst notes, including from Zacks and more, point to AI revenue being up 175% year over year and strong Azure adoption, which increase investor positive sentiment, of course, for Microsoft. They also launched the European cybersecurity program on AI threats, enhancing Microsoft's cloud and security credibility, in a partnership with Replit as well. They're trading over 500 this morning, very close to the VWAP. Steady volume supported, not just a flash spike, a lot of people are saying. So yeah, Microsoft looks good. It's been on a solid trajectory higher since June started as well. So, you know, NVIDIA is still trying to get up there to all-time highs. Everybody's really asking, when is NVIDIA going to break all-time highs today? And I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, my mom, I love my mom, but she smoked her whole life, you know, and so now she coughs. That's how it goes, I think. But at the same time, I mean, she's lived her whole life, you know. I can't really expect her, you know. I love my mom, but, you know, she coughs. Yeah, Oppenheimer's a good movie. I've seen it. Any thoughts on the dollar? Yeah, I mean, the dollar's at multi 3-year lows or whatever this is. If we take a look at the dollar, last time the dollar was under this level was in 2022, so it's about 3-year lows for the Dixie or the dollar. I mean, it's not good, but it's also not the end of the world. If you look at long-term movement of the dollar, this is kind of how it behaves. You know, in 2018, it got all the way down to under 90. And then it popped all the way back over to 100, and then it dipped all the way back to under 90, and then it ran to 115, and now it's at 97s. And so, you know, the dollar can move up over time, but it's very slight. It's like slower. It's not like NVIDIA or the NASDAQ where it's going to move up like you think it will. It's slower price action usually, generally. Yeah, we got data tomorrow. We got the Fed minutes report today at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So Fed minutes tomorrow, or Fed minutes today, data tomorrow. Jobless claims, unemployment, and more tomorrow. So any levels? I'm looking at 950 here. I'm looking at 23 up there, 23,000, and then underneath us, I'm looking at 900, and then there's also maybe one at 930 right here. Maybe. You could probably call this one. But again, this one's a little bit more up in the air. I would say this one's more arguable, if that makes sense. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the stream. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Yeah, I have real estate, Kentucky Blue. Again, I can't guarantee anything with my levels, though. I'm not an investment professional, so no idea what markets are going to do, where they're going to go, anything like that. No idea. How NVIDIA hit new all-time highs affect AMD? Well, and look, here goes NVIDIA's push. As I've said many times today, I think it's very clear we're going to test all-time highs on NVIDIA today, at least. At the very least, I think we're testing them. And here's NVIDIA. NVIDIA is now only 18 cents away from all-time highs. You can see that all-time high level in the light green line up here on NVIDIA. I'll make this larger. Yeah, I see some questions asking about prop firms and stuff like that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I try to condense most of the plugs I do towards the end of the stream. So, but here goes NVIDIA. Look at it, very close to all-time high level at right under 161, just under it. Bitcoin pumping. Yeah, AMD looks to be moving up with NVIDIA. Bitcoin up to almost 11 or 110. I'm gonna buy this dip here. Might add more to it on a further pullback. We're just too close to this all-time high level, so we're gonna take some size right here. We got a big cushion on the day, so we can essentially trade with the cushion we're taking. There's 20. Don't copy me, not an investment professional here, guys. this is not a normal pattern I would usually buy, and so there's a chance, of course, it doesn't work. But I think right now the edge is a little bit higher. Like this usually, like this is like a triple top sideways pattern, but I think NVIDIA is going to make a test. NVIDIA is 20 cents away, 25 cents away. What do you guys think? You guys think NVIDIA is going to break all-time highs? Yeah, I mean, it'll be all right. I'm already up a couple hundred on this account, so I can take the risk, to be honest, with this one. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, you know. I mean, I'd love for it to work out, but if it doesn't, you know, that's trading. There we go. Basically flat now. Yep. I'm going to reduce my size slightly, very slightly. Now that we're close to break even now. Maybe took a little bit too much. I still want to give NVIDIA a chance to run though. And I think looking at Apple makes sense. Microsoft today with the big movement makes sense. Microsoft's right at 500 too. So. Maybe, but you gotta admit, new all-time highs every other day is not gonna end well. Yeah, I mean, you might be right. Yeah, I mean, Microsoft's over 5. All right, we're green. Start reducing my size a little bit here. There we go. Look at NVIDIA up there. NVIDIA's making that push. Took a little bit more off. Protect the trade. Yep. It's getting up there. And I can hold this now pretty close to break even with almost zero risk now. So these are the type of trades I like to get in. Give it a little bit of time to pick up momentum. I'm just gonna sit in the last 10 micros here. NVIDIA does seem a little heavy, to be honest, but you never know, you know. Staring at 1 minute candles, you don't know what's gonna happen next. Powell's not really talking today. It's more so the Fed minutes report, the FOMC minutes report. I can barely hear you today. Do you guys need me to turn the mic up more? Let me know. See, I'm flat on this position now. The bat signal. Okay, audio's good. All right. Again, it'll be fixed after this stream. Yeah, I don't want it to get worse either, guys. All right, look, I might have to cut this position. I think I will. So we're still green on the day. You know, we ended up liquidating our size here. I wanted to give it a chance. We could also buy this 930 level, which I might. What I'm realizing though is I did have a 937 level on my chart right here. So remember 937 yesterday? For whatever reason, 937 has been one. I'm not saying it's gonna hold. I'll probably buy 930 if we get it. That's a little bit more reasonable, I guess. No, all good, Liberty. It's all good, bro. I appreciate you guys watching me today. I really do. Thank you guys so much. Hit the like button. YouTube did an update overnight. So if you didn't see my stream waiting this morning like you normally join my stream, for whatever reason, I woke up this morning and my stream was unlisted. I don't know why. I had to put it to public. Hey, what's up, Alaskan Russ? Good, man. Hey, we're here, you know. See, look at that 937 level. I don't know why, like, you know, I usually like whole dollar levels like 900, 950, you know, 23, whatever it is. But 937, kind of an obscure number, but it's been holding the last few days. Look at 937 again here. We had this on our chart yesterday. And honestly, I gotta say, NVIDIA looks kind of flaggish here too. Yeah, let me switch this over. All right, we're taking NVIDIA here. NVIDIA is very close to all-time highs. I'll add to it if we get some good options. Small, but I'm taking it anyway. If we get a dip, I'm gonna buy 3 more. Wish I would have taken bigger size here, but that's all right. Yep. I'll probably add back here too. There we go, we're in 4. Nice. Take some off here, up here. Liquidate towards the top here. That's what we're looking at. Cut the rest break even. We got 1 micro left, so we could cut this break even here. Yeah. We got us some pretty good trades. I don't know how much we made, but I'm up 1,200 on NVIDIA, 12,000 on NVIDIA. try this one. This is a combine account now. I think I lost last, but I'm gonna buy this dip. NVIDIA's too close to not do it, so we're gonna take some risk on a challenge account. We just made some money on our funded account. You guys just saw it. But we're gonna take some size on our combine account here and see if we can slowly add into this as NVIDIA pushes higher and breaks all-time highs. So that's the goal here. What a pullback. You don't love to see it, but yeah, I mean, I think the more logical is on the upside, but you never know. I don't necessarily like this at all. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it. NVIDIA is so close, dude, so it's kind of faking people out. Like, it wants the momentum to get here, but it's struggling to, if that makes sense. The German DAX is much more broken out of long upward trend. Normally stand out. Yeah, 950's been a wedge. If we get, like I said, if we get down to 930, I'll buy it again. This is a combine account, so it doesn't really matter too much to be completely real. We've been pretty light of economic reports. It's not that I'm getting FOMO, it's that I'm trying to attack a plan of NVIDIA breaking all-time highs. And NVIDIA is getting right up to that all-time high level and then just kind of coming back down. So it's not really breaking it. The last time it broke this all-time high was on the 3rd. So almost a week ago. So the problem is that it's just not quite breaking it. Now, the more we fall down here, the more I'm going to be interested in buying it up. So I'm going to start. And again, I'm definitely taking more risk. This is a challenge account, though, guys. So like, you saw me make some money on my funded account on the upside. Switching to this challenge account, I'm going to be a lot more risk friendly in this thing. So like, it'll be all right, is the point. We lost a little bit that last trade. Definitely did. But if we lose this, it's $50. It's not the end of the world. And so take it with a grain of salt, I guess is the point. I wanted to buy 930, but I thought it might bounce before, and that's what it's kind of doing here. That's a little bit better. We're going to take some profit. All right, so we got 4 micros left. Maybe I'm going to add to this too. If it looks like it's going to get balled up right after breaking down, now we're flat here. I don't know, NVIDIA got bought right back up. That's the only thing I'm looking at now. And we're up 1,000 already on this challenge account too. I think it's this one. I have to go check which one it is. But we're up already, so. We could tolerate the risk is the point. Yeah, here goes NVIDIA back up too, or at least trying. Yep. This is, the market's kind of weird. NVIDIA's up there too here. So we just jumped back in 10. We're gonna cover half of that up here. Lock in most of it. See if we can pop up some more as we get higher here. There we go. I think this is the final push for it. I mean, we're about 10 cents away, but you never know. I got to ride horses yesterday, by the way. So we got to ride horses. It was nice. Yeah, we're too close up here. I'm gonna buy this dip. Might seem crazy, and maybe it is, but NVIDIA is very close to this all-time high. And remember, I'm not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose. No idea what I'm talking about. If you want to try Top Step with me, on Top Step they give you a 50K demo. They test your skill with a demo account. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you lose what you pay for it. The base one's $50. So your risk is limited, and if you're good enough to pass it, you can get started for a cheap amount and get funded between 50K up to 150K with a 90% split once you're funded. Very similar to funding your own account in that regard. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, some currencies. No PDT rule. Yikes. This one just went against me. NVIDIA is so close to all-time highs too, though, man. It's a surprise. Something else is falling down, taking away all my profit on the day. But again, if you want to check out Top Step, it's the best way to learn. Most day traders lose money. And so you can either fund your own account trying to look cool and lose tens of thousands of dollars potentially, or you can try Top Step. If you fail the base one, which is most traders, you're gonna lose $50 a month. It's not the end of the world. Great way to learn. They pay out millions, fund thousands, and on Top Step X, their platform, you get 0 commission, which is a huge edge too. So again, I'll put the link up. We got kind of a fake out at all-time highs here, so I'm kind of disappointed in that too, but it's all right. We'll give it a second. Hey, there we go. We're right back up here. Look at that. Nice. I'm gonna cut that there. This thing's a little too wild for me today, guys. But hey, we're green. Here's the link if you want to check out Top Step. They're an affiliate of mine. I'm biased because they're a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased in their favor for sure. You can check it out right there. I'll pin it to the top of the chat, though. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. We appreciate it. All right, guys. NVIDIA getting close to all-time highs here. It's trying. It's really trying. I could either double down on this trade, which I think is what I'm going to do here. We're gonna make a push here. And Microsoft looks like it's bouncing at 5s too. Do not copy me though. This is a combine account. There's 40. Do not copy me in this one. Looks like we're gonna get a retracement back up. Yeah, there we go. Yes, sir. Okay. Nice. And we're out with pretty nice profit. Now we're flat. But I'm gonna give it this last 10 a second, because look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is 8 cents away from all-time highs. 8 cents for NVIDIA, all-time highs. Yeah, no, I'm still in it. You might be a little delayed on stream, Pawn. Hit the live button, brother. Might be a little behind. It's all good. Hey, what's up, G? NVIDIA got up to 93s here. We're gonna take some more. 15 shares. Or 15 micros. Nice. Gonna take some more profit at the top here. Five contracts left. Yeah, there's too many people trying to buy up NVIDIA all-time highs is what this is. That's why I've been attacking almost purely long this morning, because too many people are trying to buy up all-time highs. And so the dips don't hold. That's why I've been buying into them, trying to buy into them. And we did pretty solid here if you look at it. It might eventually come down, but you know, the way we've been doing is we've been buying dips and then cutting it once it hits a certain level, and then sometimes we'll add back, sometimes we won't. But now we can just sit tight in this. NVIDIA 8 cents away from all-time highs. 8 cents. Getting very close. Microsoft bouncing back too. 7 cents away from all-time highs for NVIDIA. NVIDIA's getting there. 7 cents away. NVIDIA 6 cents away. 6 cents away for NVIDIA. There we go. 5 cents away for NVIDIA. Took a little bit more off there. Only have 3 contracts left. Yeah, we're gonna cut this here. So we only lost about $10 on that last dip, but look at this trades. Pretty solid trade list. We've had 5 losing trades, or 4. We've had 4 losing trades out of 20. And I don't know, man. NVIDIA is very close, but we were here in April. That was pretty odd movement to just run right back up a month later. Yeah, but you got to look at the context of everything. So basically, what we're seeing right now. Why did the market drop earlier this year? Market dropped earlier this year because ultimately the tariffs. Tariffs made market fall earlier this year, 100%. And so what made the market rally back? What made the market rally back was the tariff extension, you know. And he says it's going to be the final extension now, which is August 1st in 21 days, or whenever August, I guess July has 31 days. In 22 days, August 1st deadline is here, and he says they're not pushing tariffs back anymore. And so what I'm genuinely curious about is to see what the market looks like then. If we don't get a bunch of trade deals done within this 22-day period, it's very possible the market falls. You never know, but yeah, I mean, he definitely extends it and balances it. So we ended up making some pretty good money here on this. So how much are we up on this one? No, we're agreed on that last trade for sure. But and we're agreed on our funded account as well here. NVIDIA is so close to all-time highs, though. I feel like it really wants to break them. this one up here. It won't let me log into multiple in the background. That sucks. I think we gotta watch Microsoft though. Ugh. Here, I'll show you guys this last one, I guess. But I'm locking in this one. It's a combine as well, so I mean, we're getting that rip up here that we thought. My logic of today is, again, like just buying these pullbacks here, because NVIDIA wants all-time highs. Again, it's 10 cents away from it, and even if it doesn't break it, we're still gonna have momentum up there to test it, which is always my logic with big milestone levels. Like the edge is not as on the break of all-time highs; it's on the run up to it. And I've said this a million times. Made a video about it last time too. But the edge is on the run up to all-time highs, not necessarily the breaking of all-time highs. And so, yeah. We also got the tariff letters being sent out today. United Health says special master concluded there was no evidence to support claims they were overpaid or engaged in wrongdoing. CoreWeave becomes first AI cloud provider to offer NVIDIA RTX Pro 6000 Blackwell GPU at scale. And the president is going to visit Britain in the coming weeks. China's vice premier on Thursday welcomed BASF chairman. He says the Chinese economy has demonstrated strong resilience and growth potential despite constant changing externals. I'm gonna cut this here and just wait. August 1st wasn't an extension. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Do I want to buy the dip again? Kind of, I think. Yeah, I mean, what you guys got to understand is that every politician is going to exaggerate the strength of their economy. I mean, this is what they do, right? The easiest way to put it is they're selective over their data points. If inflation is elevated, they'll say, oh, look how strong our economy is. If the economy's slow, but inflation is moving down as it does, a lot of the time when the economy's slowing down, I should say, then they're gonna hyper-focus on slowing inflation. They're going to say, hey, look, we cured inflation, guys, you know? And so that's the playbook for politicians, regardless of which side. I'm not picking sides here. This is both sides that do this. Again, if the economy's slow, they'll say, hey, look at what we're doing to inflation, you know? And they'll say it's intentional. If the economy's strong, but inflation is a problem, they won't talk about inflation, and they'll say, hey, look how good the economy is. And so that's what they do. That's politicians. That's how it goes. Yeah, I mean, he says he's not going to push back. He says he's not going to push back the extension any longer. All right, so we're buying this dip again. NVIDIA very, very close. Just broke highs of the day, got up to 94s. Making its last hopeful pullback before it rips. 93s, 94s. go. We're trading small here, but it's also been kind of easy to make money in this. 95s, there we go. 96s, 2 cents away. This is when the momentum is going to be the easiest to predict. 97s, 98s, we're going to cut it right here. All right, we just tapped all-time highs. I don't think we broke it yet. Yeah, we got up to 97, 1 cent away. 1 cent away. 97s for NVIDIA. Again, we've been talking about the same movement pattern all morning. There's 98s. We just tapped highs. All right, there we go, 99. So we just broke all-time highs for NVIDIA. We got up to 160.99. Correlates with the 950 level on the NASDAQ. Now, again, I've said this many times. I do not target breaking all-time highs. I target the run-up to test all-time highs. The reason I don't target breaking them is sometimes we tap all-time highs and then a huge sell-off occurs. Not always. Sometimes we run afterwards, but it's not safe enough to target, if that makes sense. Like, it's not safe enough to target high of the day breaks and stuff like that, because a lot of people start taking profit once we break those highs, you know. And so we broke all-time highs on NVIDIA. I'm not really interested in going long now, and y'all be careful. Yeah, I mean, you got to understand the context where I'm talking about NVIDIA under. The context I'm talking about NVIDIA under is the influence it has on the NASDAQ. NVIDIA is one of the most heavily weighted and influential stocks on the NQ. And so if I'm day trading the NASDAQ, I can look at NVIDIA here. And if NVIDIA has a higher chance of running up, I can buy dips on the NASDAQ and target those. Right? It's a higher probability dip buy. That's what you see me do all morning today. I'm not really buying NVIDIA. I'm using the momentum that NVIDIA is giving the NASDAQ in my favor, if that makes sense. It's not like I'm investing 1,000 shares in NVIDIA right now. I'm just buying the momentum. And look, NVIDIA did rip up, though. Look at 161s now. New all-time highs. 161.11. New all-time highs for NVIDIA. All right, so the U.S. trade advisor Navarro says markets view trade letters as part of negotiations. NASDAQ and NVIDIA still pushing up, though, so maybe this isn't one of those times it does this big pullback after breaking all-time highs. Just again, for me personally, I'm not targeting this. Too likely of a big dip pullback correction on the downside. We could also keep running. I mean, either way it makes sense, but I don't think it has a super high statistical edge right now. Not that I like, at least. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you guys think? Still really trying up here. We're at 950s. NVIDIA at 161s. Still pushing. And there's the dip. Make sure there's no news that showed up, but let me check. All right, so EU Trade Commissioner Šefčovič tells the European Parliament, our priority is a negotiated solution with the United States. Markets understand trade letters are negotiations. They said the president is likely to visit UK at the end of July or early August. Yeah. I don't know if there's a reason for this dip, but I see the EU Parliament that the priority is a negotiated solution with the US. But here's the sell-off. I mean, people are buying this up, to be honest. It's, well, NVIDIA is retesting the previous all-time high. It's now underneath it, but that's a level they could buy up. I don't know. Again, my hands are kind of off now. I'm not going to be as aggressive trading. NVIDIA and other microchips look to be the ones pulling back. Apple dipping down pretty big too. So the president's trade advisor Navarro says the Federal Reserve should cut rates in July. Do you guys agree with this? He said trade talks continue remotely every day with the United States, according to the EU Trade Commissioner Šefčovič. Also, Ripple is going to custody its 500 million crypto stablecoin reserve. Also, we had some Apple news. White House Trade Counselor Navarro says the Apple thins it's too big to tariff. Apple thinks it's too big to tariff, is what the quote was, actually. Apple thinks it's too big to tariff. But yeah, basically, Navarro said the Fed should cut rates in July and that Apple thinks it's too big to tariff. We'll see if this dip gets bought up. Alright guys, well, we got about 30 minutes into the opening bell, a little bit underneath that. Apple pulling back on this news though. No, Apple didn't say that. Navarro said that. Navarro said Apple thinks it's too big to tariff, end quote. So, and remember, today we got the FOMC minutes report. The FOMC minutes report is today. Very important report. Very relevant report. Let me know which is better. I just realized we have a new setting on this mic. So we have one. This is one. Setting 1 on this mic. This is setting 2 on this mic. Let me know if 1 or 2 is better. This is setting 2. Market is dipping down a little bit. We're at 161s on NVIDIA, just under 161s. NASDAQ is pulling back some. So this is setting 2, and then the previous one is setting 1. Let me know. Okay, so not this one is better. Okay. So essentially everybody thinks this one sounds better, correct? All right. Yeah, I'm going to go buy a new mic. Like, I'm going to just go buy a new mic after this, after today, or after this stream. Before Fed minutes, I'm going to get a new mic, don't worry. This one's not bad. I just got to hold it the whole time, which is kind of a pain. All right, so here we got a dip back down to 937s here. The problem is that I think the momentum is gone. We've now effectively broken NVIDIA all-time highs. At a lot of the time, what we'll do is we'll break all-time highs, and then we'll kind of dip back down for the rest of the day. And maybe we make a run back up later, but it's usually not immediately after, especially after a pullback like this. Sometimes it is, but usually it's not. And so my sentiment might kind of pivot to the short side now, just based off of this movement pattern here. It might be wrong. You never know. There's always some variance with stuff, but yeah. What's the type? It's just the settings of the mic. There's different settings. This one, I'm not sure what this one is. There's like omnidirectional stuff. Look at 937 bounce here. 937 bouncing. Yeah, we thought NVIDIA would come in for the win. Instead, they got sacked. All right, guys, we got 30 minutes into the FOMC minutes report. We'll see what we get. Wish me luck today. We've done pretty well trading. I mean, look, here's my trade list since the opening bell, or since this morning. So, like, honestly, in terms of consistency, it's not bad. It's not bad. We don't need cuts to go up, in my opinion. Historically, we've built all-time highs with rates at 5+% post GFC, and yeah. I mean, maybe we don't necessarily need cuts to go up, but an example of a situation in which we didn't need cuts was 2022. NASDAQ S&P flew up between 2022 and now. Why? Because the AI boom. AI stocks took off. They IPO'd, they went crazy, they picked up steam, they built up growth and revenue. And because of that, even in a period of markets where the Federal Reserve was incredibly hawkish, like we raised rates for a year straight and then cut and then paused rates for a year straight at high levels. Hawkish, policy by the Fed for years. During that period of time, the NASDAQ S&P were running big during a really restrictive Federal Reserve market. And so it doesn't always correlate there. Like the economy and the stock market are two completely different things. So the economy and the stock market are wildly different. And, if we get big run-ups in the stock market, it's usually from like I would say every 10, 15 years, we get big technological revolutions. What do I mean by that? I mean, like the internet was one, TV was another, PCs and computers were another, EVs were one, and recently we've had AI. But one thing I do want to talk about is everybody remember what I said here. This type of movement pattern where we break all-time highs and then dip back down pretty big is a very common movement pattern. Like very rarely does something break all-time highs and just keep on ripping, not pulling back. And so we talked about this multiple times prior to this happening, and then now it just actually happened. And so this is why I do not attack high of the day breaks. I attack the run up to the highs, if that makes sense. And maybe it gets bought up here and it continues back up, but the movement pattern still remains. I hope that I hope that makes sense. Yeah, we talked about this. This is very common. And what I mean is the movement pattern is as we get closer and closer to all-time highs, it's much more probable that we're at least going to test the all-time high level. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to break it significantly, but at the very least, we're usually going to test it, maybe break it by a small margin. And then a lot of the time, we end up having a very large pullback back underneath the previous all-time high levels afterwards. This is incredibly common. And so with that said, the biggest statistical edge, in my opinion, which is subjective, of course, and I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. None of this is financial advice. But the way to do it is to attack the run up to test the all-time high level, not necessarily the break and not necessarily the movement afterwards, but instead it's better to just test the run up to all-time highs. You could also potentially short it, but I think that's a little bit more risky as well. I think the biggest edge is as we get closer and closer, you start buying dips and stuff like that, which is what we did all day today. The dollar is down bad. We still know a little about the tariff effects and do what they say. Yeah, I mean, every president wants to look. I'm very neutral. It's not like I'm against anybody, or it's not like I'm rooting for anybody necessarily either. I'm very neutral. What I will say, and what you got to understand, is that every president wants the Federal Reserve to stimulate the economy under their watch. This is very consistent. Every president wants to use a thriving economy as a bragging point to their presidency. This is pretty normal. Both sides, not one side, not really a shock that one side, like that the current president wants that. This is pretty standard across all presidents. You know, they want a thriving economy. They want economic stimulation under their watch because they could say, hey, look at the thriving economy that we have. And so, yeah. Now, I think the current president and the Fed have a little bit more beef than normal. But with that said, I'm not really mad at the president for pushing for rate cuts because I think water's wet. You know, he's going to push for rate cuts, of course. But yeah. I think he already announced the China deal, though. So we already got a deal with China. All right, look at NVIDIA, guys. So NVIDIA might creep back up, though. This is one you want to watch. We are also at the 200 exponential here. Yeah, but you got to understand the game of politics. And the game of politics is that anytime the president puts his name on anything, whether it's a bill, whether it's a policy, you know, whatever it is, the other side is going to pick it apart in any way they can. And this happens on both sides. And like in both situations, it happens. It's pretty standard as well. I think the funnier thing, though, is that they always name the bill something great. They'll name it like the American Protection Act, you know, or the Big Beautiful Bill, or the names of these things are hilarious. Just because you could tell they're just trying to get people to approve it, you know. The greatest bill of our generation. That's what they'll say. Anyways, Apple's starting to rebound back up. Might drag the market back up. NVIDIA's retesting 161s. Well, they announced that a deal was made. They didn't announce the details of the China deal, is what happened. All right, so it's now past 9 a.m. NVIDIA's back up to 161s, and the new all-time highs on NVIDIA are 161.11s. Apple's bouncing back after getting dipped down to some, I think, on Navarro's quotes. And again, just me saying this doesn't mean I'm agreeing with the president or anything like that. Like, I am very neutral here. All I'm saying is that this is just politics. All right, here, we might retest all-time highs on NVIDIA. Yeah, it's a boring week for sure, Jim. Next week, we have CPI inflation data. This week's pretty slow, though. Today, we have the Fed minutes report at 2. We got jobless claims tomorrow at 8:30. And then Fridays looks a little slow. But every day after that, next week is busy. Like, every day next week is busy. Earnings. We got a Jerome Powell. Oh, dude. Every day next week is busy. All right, Nasdaq's still coming higher here. Very flat, though, over the last like 40 minutes. Very flat. Hour and a half, really very flat. Look at the Nasdaq rip. Let's see if there's some news. Salesforce appoints Amy Chang and David Kirk to its board of directors. We also have the European Trade Commissioner Sefcovic says the EU Parliament that the priority is a negotiation solution with the US. Still looking at other news here. Gold receivables fell 29.7 billion in week. Effective federal funds rate didn't change. All right, we're heading up a little bit though here. We are moving up some. I don't know if we're gonna get anything good, but oh. Here's a little dip though. NVIDIA fell back under 161 though. Looks like it almost rejected at 161. So honestly, we're incredibly flat right now. Just be careful because the market is incredibly flat as we speak. "24 minutes left. Bitcoin wants to go to all-time highs. Yeah, I think that's true. It's close enough to it. Bitcoin at 11,000 for Bitcoin futures. All-time highs for Bitcoin are 112,350. So we're at 111 or 110. Yeah, I mean, Kelly R. I'm not going to go into any of that. That's a subject I'm not touching. All right, here's 950. NASDAQ back over 950. Microsoft still back over fives. I got a coffee, dude. Vacation's going good. You know. Vacation's good. I need a haircut. Look at NVIDIA here. NVIDIA's right up about 7 cents away from all-time highs. About 7 cents away. All right, let's see if NVIDIA breaks all-time highs again. It's there, and Microsoft's still falling, though. But all right, we're at 952s. We got this isolated level up here, though, now at 956. Look at us tap that 956 level. All right, we're at 960s here. Just broke highs of the day. Yeah, just broke highs of the day. NASDAQ over highs of the day. We're at 957s. I gotta watch that 23,000 level way up there, but still. We're at 960s. NVIDIA very sideways the last 4 candles, 4 minutes. Let's see if 955 holds us as support now. All right, so just to put this into perspective here, guys, about the tariff letters. I see some people asking about tariffs. Okay, so the White House began issuing official tariff notification letters Monday to 14 trade partners, which included Japan, South Korea, South Africa, Malaysia, Thailand, and others, with tariff rates ranging from 25 to 40%, in some cases up to 70%, according to Yahoo Finance. An initial set of 12 to 14 letters went out Monday. Another 15 to 20 were expected to be released between yesterday and today. These letters set deadlines for implementation. Tariffs will officially take effect, though, now on August 1st. So it's been pushed back. What they say is one last time to August 1st, right? So they're saying it's pushed back and that there's not going to be any more extensions here. And so August 1st is going to be the day to pay attention to. It's a firm deadline reiterated by the president. He's made it clear no further extensions beyond August 1st will be granted, and each letter signals potential tariff escalation. Kind of, could scare markets, but NASDAQ's testing, recent highs of the day. NVIDIA is breaking all-time highs today. Countries still have until August 1st, though, to negotiate exemptions, and any progress could diffuse pressures, especially for nations still waiting for letters like European Union and India. Copper, though, has been running on news like that. Semiconductors as well. Autos, pharma stocks are in focus. 50% copper tariff is already in the works. And so, yeah, there's been volatility there. But look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA's getting close to maybe breaking this all-time high level again right here. 161.10. All right, here goes NVIDIA, potentially breaking this all-time high level again. And yeah, maybe I was wrong about the short after this because this thing just keeps running. $22,960 yesterday's high. Okay, that's a level to watch. 10 million divergence on API yesterday. Oil inventories could be big. Maybe. Hey, what's up, Faye? Good morning. Just bought some NVIDIA. Hey, good luck. We're pretty close to all-time highs on NVIDIA, too, so... I mean, it's possible we break, I think. Microsoft's still running back up, too. All right, so we are 3 cents away from all-time highs on NVIDIA again. 3 cents. NASDAQ's testing highs of the day. NVIDIA at 161.08. 9s. 11 is the level. So we're at 9s. 11 is the level. All right, we're dipping down a little bit here. We're down to 5s. Microsoft over 500 still running back. Let's see if 955 holds support. But NVIDIA pulled back right before it broke that all-time high. Remember, today we got the FOMC minutes report. $14 minutes. I heard the European Union trade deal is seriously close. It might be. China's market regulators hold a symposium on fair competition, according to statement. Also, again, we talked about this earlier, but Salesforce appointed a new board of directors, and Nat Gas Pipeline declares a force majeure at segment 11. I mean, I'm out right now. I'm not in anything right now, chat. I haven't traded since we broke the first all-time high level. 58. Bitcoin breaking out, is it really? Alright, so we're holding support here at this previous all-time high for NVIDIA. Nasdaq's still running though, breaking all-time highs. Up over 961 for a second, I think. Oil's down $1 in 20 minutes. Yeah, oil's been fading down though since 3 a.m., 4 a.m. this morning. Maybe on more stability there. Ceasefire news is what I heard this morning earlier. So that's probably what it is. Oil still testing lows. NVIDIA pushing up towards all-time highs again. We are now 7 cents away, 6 cents away from all-time highs on NVIDIA. We're going to cover that move as it happens. Oil falling down. Bitcoin up there, still pushing higher. Still pushing highs here on the NASDAQ, testing it again just now at 961s. I think HIMS is gapping up some too, HIMS here. Yeah, look at HIMS, over 50 again. NVIDIA just broke all-time highs, got up to 161.15 for a split second. Got pushed back down under 161.10 here, but broke all-time highs again. 161.15, new all-time highs for NVIDIA stock. Looks strong, but you never know. That's a big pullback here after breaking it. 161.05. NASDAQ still breaking all-time highs. NVIDIA trying to get back up. We'll see if it does, but very strong market today. NASDAQ tapped 164s, or at least got really close to tapping it. I'm not sure if it actually broke it or not. We got less than 8 minutes left, about 7 minutes left. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help us grow the channel. We appreciate it. It's really fun though. Like we used to, like my stream, you never used to get this many people. You know, we would usually get like 300 to 400 or 500 people tops at the opening bell. It's recently grown and almost doubled. We're now up to anywhere between 700 to 800 at the opening bell, which is really fun. On big days, of course, we got thousands and thousands of people here. But even on today, which is a relatively slower day for economic reports, market news, we still got 700 of you guys here, so we appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. NVIDIA at 161.15, right at that all-time high level. Might break it again. Just did. 16s now, all-time highs for NVIDIA. 17s, 18s, still pushing here. Microsoft is one of the reasons, over 500 today. Tesla, I haven't looked at that one in a minute. Tesla's still under 3s. Apple, back up to 210s. NVIDIA still breaking highs. 161.18 is the new all-time high level. Less than 7 minutes before the open. Hey, thank you, Ranger. Appreciate it, brother. We're at 161.20 here for NVIDIA. We're at 962s. NVIDIA still rising over highs, guys. We're at 161.20s. NVIDIA has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green candles in a row now. 5 minutes until the open, roughly. The U.S. Education Department said Harvard may not meet accreditation standards. I like this comment. Yeah, that's why I chose not to go to Harvard. That's the main reason, you know. It's a sarcastic response. Yeah, that's why I didn't go to Harvard either. You know, it had nothing to do with C average, but you know, I chose not to go to Harvard, you know. I just got the foresight into that, you know. I'm sticking to it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, we're up to 290s or 964s here, chat. I don't think college is a scam. I think that some people shouldn't go. I think too many people are getting broad business degrees, and they might have a harder time than they think getting a job if they only have a bachelor's degree. You know, if you get a business degree, I think you got to get an MBA, and outside of that, go to STEM. STEM subjects is usually the right move. Go to science, math, you know, technology, whatever. But I think too many people are going to school for philosophy degrees and degrees that aren't going to get them anywhere really. But everybody's different, man. It just depends on the person. And listen, guys, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Great way to help support the channel. We got less than 4 minutes here, chat. Less than 4 minutes. Yeah, definitely too many worthless degrees for sure. But with that said, to be fair, and everybody should recognize this is the truth, it's certainly easier to get a job, and it's certainly easier to get a higher paying job with a degree, regardless of degree. All right, so if you don't have a degree, even if the person's got a degree in philosophy, they're gonna have an easier time getting a job, and they're probably gonna get a higher paying job in your field than you are. Where it really gets tricky is like if you want to start a business, that's where it's like, well, it might be better just not go and just starting businesses. And I told my wife and I told my daughter and my son this exact thing. One out of 6 businesses succeed. And that might discourage you. For me, it honestly is more encouraging. You know why? Is because it means that all you got to do is fail at 5 businesses. Eventually one's going to stick. And when one sticks, that can pay you for the rest of your life. You know, people get all discouraged that a majority of businesses fail, but all it means is you got to just keep plugging away at it. Eventually one's going to stick if you do. If you learn from each mistake and you grow, I think that makes sense. You know. Yeah, a lot of trades. We need trades. Look at man. Look at NVIDIA rip here. NVIDIA just got up to 161.40s. 161.40s. Look at AMD fall fast here too. AMD falling fast. NVIDIA ripped up to 161.40s. 2 minutes into the opening bell. Well, apprentices, they should have apprentices more for master's degrees. Like for an attorney, you used to be able to pass the bar and then be an apprentice for a few years. And then boom, you're an attorney. And I would argue that you're probably going to learn more doing that than you are than going to law school. You know, like working under an attorney as an apprentice, you're going to learn more usually immediately as long as you can pass the bar. Big education got in the way, and now that you have to, there's very small outliers to this, but for the most part, you have to get a law degree now. You have to go to law school is what I mean, not a degree, a law degree. You have to go to law school now, unfortunately. And it never used to be like that. But look at the NASDAQ pump here into the opening bell. We got less than a minute here, less than a minute. AMD up to 138.40s. NASDAQ still moving up. NVIDIA still testing all-time highs. I'm going to put the SPY up on the bottom right here. SPY breaking all-time highs. Is it? Let me make sure. I think it is. No. All-time highs on the SPY are 626. We're at 622. Here's the opening bell, though, chat. Good luck. All right, there we go. You are the ultimate optimist? I don't necessarily think that. I'm kind of a skeptic. All right, look, here's 23,000. NVIDIA well over all-time highs at the opening bell. Here's 23K, testing 23 now, over 23K for a split second. All-time highs on the NQ are 23,110 or so, 23,105, 23,110. We're getting close to that now. Over 23,000 on the NASDAQ. NVIDIA breaking all-time highs. New all-time highs, 162s. Almost 162.50 for NVIDIA. SPY's running up at the opening bell. Crazy strong right now. It's the backwards hat? Yeah, it might be. I think so. We're at 623s. We're over 23,000. All right, we're up to 162.50s. Retesting 23 now after a run up at the opening bell. We're back down under 23,000. Crazy. Strong open, honestly. Very strong open. And again, I'm waiting. I'm not allowed to trade for my system in the first 4 minutes of the day. So I'm waiting here. I guess I'll do a shameless plug. This is only my second plug of the day in hours and hours. Okay? But check out Top Step. If you want to learn to day trade, do not fund your own account thousands and thousands of dollars. You'll probably lose it, really, realistically. And I'm biased because I get paid by Top Step, but it's genuinely a good option. NASDAQ just broke highs of the day as well. 23,020 right now. NVIDIA still ripping over highs here. Almost at 163s. Let's see if it breaks 163s. Very strong. SPY moving up too. Wow. But check out Top Step. Beautiful way to learn. Base one's $50. That's your risk. If you pass it, you get a 50K funded account, 90% split. And if you build up profit, you can start taking withdrawals and payouts. Some of the most legit in the game. Their new dashboard's great. Top Step X has zero commission. The edge is there. Teaches you how to trade in a structured environment where you're risking something, just not the full extent of tens of thousands of dollars like a lot of new traders try to do. It makes no sense to do that. Instead, try Top Step, $50 a month. I'll put the link up. They're affiliate of mine, biased, can't guarantee anything, not an investment professional, not liable if you lose money. No idea what I'm talking about sometimes. Might be wildly wrong about anything I say, but if you want to check it out, here's the link. The president is tweeting about too late. Let's see, hold on. Let me look at this. I'm here. Okay, so the president said anybody but quote unquote too late, obviously referencing Jerome Powell. Do you guys agree with the president here? I'm not saying I do or don't. I'm just kind of covering the news here that Pawn's telling me about. So again, president tweeted anybody but quote unquote too late, end quote. Yeah, he's obviously, yeah, it's obviously a Powell, you know. NASDAQ still ripping up. Look at NVIDIA up to 163.30s here. 163.30s. NVIDIA flying higher here. Wow. But if AI takes over the world, that's not a shock. Look at this run. We get a dip to 23K. I'll buy that. But 5 incredibly strong green candles at the opening bell here, chat. The S&P's not at all-time highs. The SPY all-time highs are 626. We're at 623s. NASDAQ's not at all-time highs either. At NASDAQ all-time highs are, I think, 110. We're at 25 right now. NVIDIA's at all-time highs. So NVIDIA's breaking all-time highs, and it's just momentum riding up right now. But the NASDAQ and the S&P are not over all-time highs yet. Next FOMC meeting, July 30th. Next FOMC minutes report is today at 2 p.m. We're going to stream it live like we always do. I fear inflation and support Jerome Powell. Yeah, I mean, I feel you. I think inflation's a reasonable thing to fear. I think, you know, I think a lot of people are just kind of pushing for rate cuts, and I get it. And again, I think you could probably argue one last meeting. I really do. I think you could probably argue a rate cut based off of negative Q1 GDP. But you should also incredibly fear inflation, because inflation is going to make most people more unhappy than people realize. Like, and rate cuts add risk to that. I certainly don't want economic stimulus. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I think the right move would be balanced by the Federal Reserve. I think they can continue quantitative tightening, which is a restrictive monetary policy, and then they can cut rates 25 basis points. Or they can end QT and pause. I think both of those things are reasonable. They're balanced. That's what they should do personally. But again, what do I know? I'm not the Fed chairman. I don't freaking know. Well, inflation is honestly pretty slow right now. It's at 2 point something percent. You know, on PCE inflation at 2 point something percent, CPI inflation at 2 point something percent on the year. It's been growing pretty slowly, or it's been rising slowly, which is good. It's right around their target, which is good. So I think it's going to be a really interesting run up to August 1st is what I think. And we're waiting for a trade. I'm not going to buy up here. I need a dip first. I just hope we don't dip too quickly. You are normally correct. So you're implying that I'm wrong? I might be wrong. It's subjective though. Like what people think we need is in this situation and by the Federal Reserve. Like I'll put it this way. It's not easy to figure out what's the right move here. It's somewhat ambiguous right now. Like it's somewhere in the middle. I think you could argue either side pretty respectably, right? Like I think you could argue rate cuts right now. And I think you could also argue a pause right now based off of the inflation markets we've seen over the last 5 years. I think both of them you could probably argue. And so right now I'm looking for a dip to 23,000. I don't want to buy a dip before it hits 23K. Maybe we'll bounce at 23.25, 23.025. Basically 25 right now. Maybe. But again, we're a little bit too up there for me to buy this dip right now. I need a dip to 23, a reasonable dip. And I might not get it. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to put Cato in timeout for I don't know how long. He really doesn't really say anything except criticisms. And again, like for him to exaggerate what I said is just ridiculous. I shouldn't even say anything about it because that might be what he wants. But for him to say it never goes back up after all-time highs is ridiculous. You guys know me. I don't speak in absolutes. Like that's just not what I do. You know, only a Sith speaks in absolutes, you know. But on a serious note, you guys know me. I never speak on absolutes. NVIDIA just broke highs. We're up to 163.70s, 163.70. So NVIDIA just running up here, running up. Crazy momentum here. We're almost at 164s. NASDAQ's pushing higher and higher, all-time highs. But yeah, I don't speak in absolutes. So for him to embellish what I said just to be more critical, he's just sitting around waiting to criticize for whatever reason. Cheers to him. He's banned for 24 hours. Have a good day. Yeah, hit the like button, chat. We appreciate it. I'd argue they cut, inflation rockets, and nobody does anything but blame somebody else. Yeah, that might be true. Sith Lords are a specialty. Yeah, hey. NVIDIA up to 164s. I mean, I think people underestimate the strength of NVIDIA. And I think a lot of people missed out on this AI boom we've seen over the last 5 years, 3 years, really. And so I think they're a lot of the ones that are like, oh, the market's going to crash, NVIDIA's not going to hold. And maybe it doesn't, and maybe it pulls back. But I think you have to look at the extent of influence that AI has had over the world at this point in time. And you also have to look at how much AI has grown over just the last year, and then extrapolate that over the next 50. That's a pretty strong thing, I think, for AI, and NVIDIA is right at the forefront of that. And so it's hard for me to bet against NVIDIA. I would never short it. I have no idea if it's going to keep going higher. It could pull back. Again, I don't deal in absolutes. Anything could freaking happen. What I look at is risk, and I'm not going to short NVIDIA. That's for sure. Hey, thank you, 2A. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, sir. We haven't had a red candle in the NASDAQ since the opening bell. That's how strong things are. Not a red candle since the opening bell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 green candles for the NASDAQ here. I day trade NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA's probably got some pretty easy momentum to read. I don't really day trade it, but I don't think it's bad momentum to read. NVIDIA Skynet, maybe. Hey. All right, so there's a red candle. Let's see if NVIDIA dips down. It's at 164s. Microsoft all-time highs. Yeah, that's definitely helping this. NVIDIA, Microsoft. Yep. Loving this open. Yeah, the market's ripping up. And like I said earlier, I usually don't like attacking highs. I really don't. Because a lot of the time we break highs and then dump down. But it doesn't mean every time, and there's always going to be outliers, and there's variance, and, you know. But at this point in time, we're too high up. You know, my luck, I would buy this and then we dump down. But I'd still like a pullback to 23. I just don't know if we're going to get it. I might buy a pullback to like 23, 25s now, or 23, 50s. I could also short this a little bit here. Let's try. 2 micros, very small. We're gonna take half off there, scalp it, hold the rest, break even here. There we go. Not bad. Little scalp on the short side. Just some extension here on the top. Yeah, we don't have any big bullish news. We've got ceasefire news overseas, a little bit of ceasefire news. We've got trade deal news, extension to August 1st news. Trade letters getting sent out today, yesterday, Monday. Microsoft and NVIDIA hype is what's going on. So AI news has been propelling markets higher for sure. NVIDIA's been breaking all-time highs. Microsoft has been breaking all-time highs. That's what's been dragging the market up. I like trading the run-up to all-time highs, but once we break all-time highs once on a specific day, that's usually where I draw the line in terms of continuing to attack momentum on the upside for a while. Again, it doesn't mean it's going to come back down. It just means I'm not going to long it anymore just for risk tolerance. I'll buy a pullback now if we get one, but I don't want to attack the momentum of high break, high break, high break. You know, I think we could also argue a slowdown is coming right now, but you never know. And again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Beautiful way to help support the channel. No PDT in futures. You can day trade this momentum. And I'm looking at NVIDIA to day trade the NASDAQ. And you can trade the NASDAQ, micro NASDAQ, 0 commission in futures. You can check out the link pinned at the top of the chat. They're an affiliate or sponsor of mine, though I can't guarantee anything. You want to confirm it with them. But useful for traders to learn and get started for less. Instead of funding thousands in an account, you can get started for 50 bucks. NASDAQ just broke highs again. NVIDIA just broke all-time highs again. And so, again, like I said, sometimes it does happen. I'm not going to attack this, though. It's too up. Again, there's just too much upward movement here. You know, I thought we could get a pullback here, but it looks like we didn't. And this is why my hands are kind of off right now. It's just up too much. Maybe 75 could reject. Let me go back and look at deeper levels here. We're not really over all-time highs, so I'm going to put a 15-minute chart up. And let's look at some deeper levels here. Okay, so we have 50 right here. We've got all-time highs right here. And maybe the NASDAQ wants all-time highs. And then I think we got another level at like 70 right here. Maybe 75. Yeah, we'll look at 75. All right, so that's what I'm watching now. Here's the all-time high, though. I think maybe the NASDAQ wants all-time highs now. So the closer we get to all-time highs on the NASDAQ, the more optimistic I am about a break, but I don't think I'm going to attack it. Yeah, 23.1 is all-time highs for... I'm talking about, when I say all-time highs, I'm talking about NVIDIA, mostly. NASDAQ all-time highs 23.1. See if we break. NVIDIA pushing up. We're at 164s too, breaking all-time highs. 164.37. The new NVIDIA all-time highs. 23.1 is NVIDIA is the NASDAQ, and we're getting close. Microsoft breaking all-time highs. New all-time highs for Microsoft just now broke at 504.43, 42. Yeah, crazy strong. Mag 7 running for sure. Yeah, where's the SPY at? SPY's got to be getting pretty close to all-time highs too, right? 626s are all-time highs on the SPY, so it's still about $1 or $2 away from it. We're at 23,083s. NVIDIA down at 164s. I'm green on my funded account here. I'm going to take this and just trade my regular one so I can try to attack all-time highs. But if I lose, it's not the end of the world. I can just kind of add to this and have some fun with a challenge account right now around all-time highs on the NASDAQ. All right, we took some profit there. I'm gonna add some big size here, to be honest. Nice. We got 3 left. Very close to all-time highs on the NASDAQ. I think it wants it here. Let's see if it does. Add some more size at the test. Liquidate it. Let's take 4 here. Maybe add some to it on this dip. We're so close to all-time highs on the NASDAQ. I think we're gonna break it. So I can take deep big size here and see what happens, but depends on where it breaks too. don't mind risking this account to potentially get funded in it right now. We're too close to all-time highs on the NASDAQ to not break it. Let me make sure. Hold on. All-time highs are 23,102.50 on this one. So we're just gonna go all in with big size and risk the account. Like I said, I don't mind on this. It's a challenge account, by the way. It's not a, you know. There we go. Yes, sir. Nice. Up hundreds. We can hold these little 10 contracts left, see what happens. I cut most of these break even at the end, and I could add back, but I'll hold 2, let it work this last little bit. It's so close to all-time highs, I want to give this the chance. Yeah, I'm just going to cut it here. It's too big of a pullback. We might bounce right here at 75, but you can see the last few trades are pretty solid. I could buy this 10 pullback, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Got it again. Try to hold the rest break even, but I think it wants to move back up. Start cutting it break even now. And we'll wait. It might retest it too, but net green in that trade too. Yeah, we got wholesale inventories at 10. Not really gonna move markets at all. They shouldn't, at least. Maybe they do. They're expected at minus 0.3. Last time was positive 0.2. Let me see what I am here. We're gonna buy this dip now. We're already up hundreds and hundreds in this account now, to be honest. All right, we took a lot of that off now. Again. Nice. Take some more. See, the run-ups to highs are what I like the most versus the actual high break. So I hope everybody can at least learn from how I trade this. Because people can say I was right, wrong, but I've been very profitable today day trading these highs. All right, we got out the last bit there. See if we can add back. It might break it before we get a chance to, but I'm just looking for really high percentage setups. FOMC minutes reporters today. 2 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, NVIDIA worth $4 trillion. Taking some risk here, but it's not crazy. Let's see if it holds. We got a big cushion on the day, so we can do this, but there we go. Nice. Just made another few hundred. This is taking too long, so I'm just going to cut this. But you can kind of see like how small my losses are versus my wins. 63, 39, 20, 20, 20. $30 loss, $15 loss, $0 loss, $150 loss, $13.50 loss. So much more wins than losses and much smaller losses than wins. So we've been doing pretty good. NASDAQ still moving up there. Looks like to test that high, but I'm going to go ahead and cut out of here pretty soon. I'm going to let wholesale inventories come out. And again, check out Top Step if you want to learn to day trade. Most day traders lose money, so it's just a good option to learn. You can see it pinned at the top of the chat. It really is the better way to learn. I wish I had it in the beginning because you just risk less. If you pass it, you get a 50K funded account, 100K funded account, 90% split, first 10K in profit. If you fail, you lose 50 bucks, 100 bucks. It's just a better way to learn. And if you're good enough to pass it, you can get they pay out millions of dollars, fund thousands. Just a good test of skill and a great way to learn and pass and get started for cheap. So check it out. They are a sponsor affiliate of mine though, so I'm biased. I'm trying to let wholesale inventories play out first. All right, we got less than 2 minutes. Wholesale inventories. I decided to cut it. It's looking too weak. NVIDIA's still pulling back, but it could run any moment. You never know. All right, waiting here. We got about a minute left. Yeah, we're just kind of stagnating a little bit here. We got 1 minute. Oh, sorry, I'm muted. Pretty good day on this challenge account. We are also green in our funded accounts. I think we're green on almost everything today. Pretty easy to be green today, though. All right, guys, 30 seconds. NVIDIA officially becomes the first person in history, or first company in history to have a $4 trillion market cap. Impressive. Starting to rip back up here. We got 3 seconds before wholesale inventories. They showed up at minus 0.3% as expected for wholesale inventories. Again, they showed up at minus 0.3. They expected minus 0.3 as expected here. NASDAQ's honestly pushing up a little bit right now. Look at that all-time high test. We'll play with this right here, but it's not easy. We're too close to the highs for me to really like it, but we could take 2, maybe 4. It's not going to give me too much here, even if it does work. There we go. Scalp, scalp. We're out. Made a little bit there. I'll take it. New all-time highs in the NASDAQ, though. New all-time highs in the NASDAQ, 108s, 107s, 110s. Yeah, I already reported wholesale inventory. Should have been minus 0.3%. Versus minus 0.3% expected. Trade sales showed up at minus 0.3% as well. So, new all-time high break on the NASDAQ. With that said, I'm going to get out of here. We got the Fed minutes report later in a couple hours. So be ready. I'll see you guys then. I love you all. You'll have a great day. Be safe. We'll see you guys in a couple hours. Join us. Could very much move markets. We'll be back trading live then as well. So I'll see you guys then. Good luck. Have a great day. Not an investment professional, not financial advice. I'll see you guys later.